Hey there. Welcome to the NULAi Life Pulse podcast, where members go to get a pulse on the heartbeat of our incredible community. NULAi Life is the hormone health company developing transformative products that challenge the way you age. The Pulse features rising stars, leaders in the field, and insights from our leaders at headquarters. Each Pulse podcast is designed to help you become the best version of yourself by keeping you dialed in, inspired, and motivated. Are you ready to be the best you? Now, let's listen to the pulse of NULAi Life.
Welcome, NULAi Life family. I'm so excited to be with you today, and welcome to the Pulse here at NULAi Life. I am absolutely joined by two incredible individuals. I'm joined by Shawn Spainhour, our VP of Marketing. Shawn, how are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great. Always amazing to be here talking to you.
Always amazing to talk to you, too. I'm also joined by Linton, who's our CAO. And has been, I don't know, Ryan, I don't think there's an aspect of the company you probably haven't been involved in at some point, right?
Half of it's top secret.
That's right. Don't tell anybody. I can tell you, but then I have to kill you, one of those kind of things. I love the fact that we're getting to have this conversation today. I know that we have had it kind of sporadically over the last couple of months. We've had it with some of our key leaders. And we've talked about technology. We've talked about the ways it's impacting our field. But what we want to talk about today is AI.
Yes.
Right? It's this artificial intelligence. It's the idea that AI is a part of everything we do, and it's influenced, all aspects of what we do in terms of just how you're able to arm yourself with information, how you're able to go do things that maybe we've never done before. And I love it, from a lot of aspects, but I really love the difference it's made in our industry as well, and I want to get to that kind of a little bit later in this particular event, because I want to talk about it. But before we do that, Ryan, since you're, gotta be one of the smartest guys I know, right? I know you've had this.
His nose growing.
Or he doesn't know that many people.
Right.
No.
I know 3 people. So you're definitely in the top 3.
Oh, you beat me
That's
at
right.
least.
No, what I love about your particular experience, and that was one of the things I've really enjoyed about getting to know you, is you've had this vast tech experience. You've been in the Silicon Valley, you've worked at tech startups, you've had, all of this, getting to see new things that are coming on the market. Take just a second and talk about AI, maybe just some of the things you've seen and how you feel like it's really sort of changed things over the last little while.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to, because I lived in Silicon Valley for 12 years. 2 different times. The first time I was doing volunteer services, and I remember seeing on the billboards Yahoo and some of these internet, like Netscape, and I was like, what is the internet?
I miss Netscape.
What is the internet? And everyone was saying, hey, it's going to take over the world, and it has. Look around, it has.
Yeah.
It didn't do it overnight,
Nope.
but it has. And people that got in on the forefront,
They made a lot of money.
They're kind of sitting on Pebble Beach. And I see the same thing with AI. Like, obviously, the web was pretty. It's kind of like the universe. It's out there. You got to search and try to find things that relate to you. It can be arduous, tedious. You still have to put a lot of work and effort into it. With AI, you're turning all of that automation over. AI kind of reminds me of, have you ever seen that Disney movie, WALL-E?
Yeah.
Where they literally automate everything for them, that they become huge, and if they had NULAi Life products, it wouldn't be huge.
That's right.
They could have just,
they
they even carted them away, and
Yes.
I see AI truly getting there, and in a lot of ways, when I was in Silicon Valley the second time, I saw AI coming. They first called it machine learning.
Yeah.
Didn't truly have the artificial intelligence to it. And it was really interesting. The first time I actually heard AI, it was 2016, 17. A company reached out to me and said, hey, we'd like you to be part of this company. It's going to change the world with regards to marketing offers. And they explained it that, the most sophisticated software out there can only do configurations of about 100 to 1,000 segmentations that you market towards. And they said with AI, it's infinite. Like it's an offer, a direct offer to someone personally. And I use this experience. I think I told you about it. When I was in Silicon Valley, our biggest partner was Facebook, and we go to Facebook all the time. And I had to work on Facebook. I'm not one of these social posters, but I used to sit there and when BYU was playing, football or basketball, it would be like, come to the local bar. And get a free cake or whatever pint for
BYU
free.
game.
BYU game. BYU game. Like it was terrible. Like I'm not getting. I'm not.
Yeah,
for those who don't know,
audience.
you may need to tell people who are listening or watching what BYU.
BYU is I think they call it the Cold Stone Milk University. Like it drinks more milk and the least amount of alcohol anyway.
That's right.
And it's prohibited actually. So, and they ended up doing the offers for Starbucks, and when they told me that, I was like, oh my gosh, because now I see Starbucks is the only one, which is a coffee. Same thing with alcohol. Coffee is like, it's not something that I consume, and it started saying come in for orange juice.
Oh, smart. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was AI, and that was like a few years back, and that's when I was like, wow, that's the power of AI. And, to see it going forward, I remember they were telling me one guy, he raised like $20 million, and he said, you'll be able to engage with AI, and you'll have no idea that the person on the other side of the phone that is helping you troubleshoot either software or your bank account or anything like that is actually not a person. It's artificial intelligence, and it's getting that close.
That's amazing. I remember, just as a side thought to what you were talking about, spurred this thought for me. I remember people were genuinely afraid, like nervous about it.
Oh yeah, I think they thought like Skynet.
Yeah,
and
like
Terminator
that's like
was
Skynet, Terminator. Like it really was. Like it was so different that they were legitimately afraid of it. And like, because I would hear about it all the time. They'd say, "Oh my gosh, are you going to get replaced by AI?" You did all these different questions would happen. But like you said, and I guess maybe the scarier thought is look how far it's come, right? From when it was announced to what it is now, and how Shawn, you and I talked about this, how it's so can be more geared to you, right? To you specifically and who you are and these kind of things that it's just transformed so many things that we do. And when you think about it from that perspective, it's truly amazing, and I guess maybe the question we'll ask maybe later is, so what's it going to be in 10 years? How's it going to look differently when we start seeing how it applies to particularly what we do? When you and I first started talking about AI, right? We were talking about how it applied to the industry, and I was, have so much experience in all these different things in terms of technology, and particularly in terms of how that applies to people from a marketing perspective and all those different things. And you started talking about NULAi, right, which is our AI.
Yes.
And we started talking about how it applied. Just take a second, walk through that process. Like when you were thinking about NULAi for New Life, like what sort of things were you looking for? Like what did you think it would do? I mean, even from a technical perspective, but like how did you see it impacting us, like particularly as a company, our field? How did you see it was going to play itself out?
Yeah, I mean, I like to say that we said we're going to do artificial intelligence here in New Life and have a plan. That's not actually how it started.
No, that's not how it happened. That's
how
why
it
I want you to
happened.
tell the story. Yeah.
It was a conversation. We were discussing scaling field support.
Yeah.
And we were discussing product education.
Yeah.
And to keep Alexi's vision, our CEO founder at this company, of how can we make messaging education consistent. You and I talked about it like,
we did.
Well, we can do onboarding, we could do this class, and our goal is we have so many incredible field leaders, we have all these great salespeople, but it's almost like that game of telephone. By the time they get a fourth, fifth way down, the value proposition of Soma Durham's changed 20 times. The story's missed. So we're like, how can we train upon that? Now we could do it the old-fashioned way and go door to door and do what you both did and go missionary style and just like, have you heard about the great word of New Life? Let me tell you about it. It takes too long. We can't scale it out. Definitely when we're in now 15 markets and I mean, I don't know how many people around the world we've touched or how many bottles, millions upon millions of bottles sold. So I was talking to Alexi and Ken, And I worked on a project a while ago where I was taking some open source AI. I was building out this algorithm. I said, I wonder if there's a way we can scale this. And Alexi gave a few parameters. One is, I don't want to do any outside partnerships. If we do anything, it has to be done here.
It's got to be us. Right?
Alexi's big in, this is my formulation, nobody else. And I think a lot of it's just the purity of, of New Life and what makes us unique. I mean, we're almost it's been 6 years. We're at about $840 million, almost $1 billion. It's pretty impressive with no other owners that were able to get to that benchmark. So Alexi's stubborn when it comes to that. So I'm like, all right, that's the first challenge.
Yeah.
The next is if we create an AI algorithm, we can pull it off.
Yeah.
How do we control the content?
Yeah.
Because if we use ChatGPT, I mean, doesn't it pull from, where does the ChatGPT even pull from, right?
Yeah, I have a buddy that actually, my daughter had an operation at Stanford University, and we caught up over lunch, and he's like, I'm now at Reddit. And I'm like, oh, really? And he's like, what? I asked him what he's working on, and he said, well, AI is taking over. I'm like, how's AI taking over Reddit? That thing's been around like 20 years.
Yeah.
It's like old school. It's just chats.
Yeah.
And he said, no. He goes, AI really pulls from user content, especially in communities like Reddit. And it, it doesn't just go and capture the data and just regurgitate it. I mean, there's artificial intelligence into it that dissect it and interpret it and everything else. But it has to grab a knowledge base from somewhere.
Right.
And I think that's what's so unique about what you built here at New Life is that it's proprietary and it is our knowledge base and we are driving it and we're driving the algorithms and everything.
Exactly. The mere fact that if you use ChatGPT, it's pulling from Reddit, from these communities, and I'm not sure if you've been on Reddit recently, Stony, but
not recently.
It's not the most reliable source of information.
No, I would say
it is literally people just sticking their finger up in the air, trying to decide where the wind's at, and saying, "I think this is truth today." And
or wearing a tinfoil hat.
Tinfoil hat. Yeah, exactly. So that was one of the big challenges for us here. Is like, all right, so a lot of companies out there who flaunt to have AI. All they do is they take a skin, we call it like a CSS skin, just like a style, and they roll it over ChatGPT, or they put a skin over the Google AI, Gemini, and you use that, and that's how they think they're like, yeah, we have AI, and all you're doing is literally just talking to ChatGPT. It just looks different. That's all, and so many people do that, but that's the new fad. Obviously, Alexi didn't want that, and we can't have that, because if they're asking about Somaderm on ChatGPT, it's going to pull from Reddit, from anywhere it finds online. It doesn't know the authority of it, and we're a company that wants to be accurate in our messaging, and we need to be compliant. We can't say a whole litany of crazy things in this industry. Mm-hmm. So it's like, all right, we have a couple challenges. One, we need to make this incredibly user-friendly. Yep. We need to own the IP, and there's not that many companies in our industry, if any, to say, hey, let's just create an AI algorithm.
No,
why not?
That's exactly.
And then the third part is we got to build a server that the AI knows where to pull from. So it's pulling only from the resources we provided. And that's really what NULAi became, New Life Artificial Intelligence. And I took just behind the guts of it. So people are really familiar with ChatGPT. It allows there to be an open API backend. Anyone can access it. I mean, if I wanted to make an AI version of Stony, and I sat down long enough with you, and you gave me your diary and your journals and all the way down, and we just loaded it completely in this server, every entry you've ever said, every opinion you have, and then I take that API token in the backend. I can make it where your wife will have a discussion with you, and as long as you don't change your personality at all, which you probably won't, you're at the age
I think I'm probably
that's set.
I'm probably rooted right in
we can make a clone version of Stony.
That's
that everything's all preset. Yeah. The other thing you need is right in the middle. It's called a moral algorithm. So you probably heard of like AIs being tested on Twitter or X or different social platforms where it starts becoming like bigoted or starts having these weird political messages. In a moral algorithm, the AI doesn't know its left and right limits. Like if you're a Stony, we made a clone of you, and you were having a conversation with somebody who's like, who's really politically minded and had all these opinions, the AI is going to want to correspond. So it's going to start learning from that person. So your morals and personality will start to change. So the month, if you let your AI loose, come back, you're like, wait, I don't recognize that person. That ain't me. Like you have all my knowledge, but that's not me. So a moral algorithm gets us this, just like a person. It builds its left and right limits. So we built a more algorithm designed with NULAi and all the other AIs that we have here that we actually programmed be funny, be a little humorous, add a couple emojis per response, be helpful, add this piece of personality. We said sound a little bit like Reese Witherspoon when you respond. So I gave it all these little personality traits. I said, don't go this far, don't go this far. Wow. Don't give people personal recommendations, tell them to consult here. So we gave those limits. So once we had that, then we just uploaded every single piece of content NULAi has ever created. Yep. PDFs, brochures, training videos, everything. And the beautiful part about it is the more people interact with it, we have a whole log of every question asked. So we just go in there and we update it. And we find a lot of unique questions. I mean, things that I didn't think they were going to ask. So when I see that, like, all right, we'll go in there and we'll add it. And so NULAi becomes more and more and more intelligent. So it's not like using ChatGPT and saying, that's the wrong answer. I got to give Google a call and talk to the board of directors like, hey, I typed in my name. It's not right.
It's not me.
Can you change that? The best part here in NULAi is since we own the IP and we own the algorithm, we can make it, we can add any new responses as possible and grow it and expand it any way we want.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
And by the way, as you explained it so well, totally unique.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know of another company, particularly in our space, that's doing anything like that. It's actually trying to work on it from that perspective.
There's a quote from Picasso I always love. And I always tell the marketing team, I say, good artists copy, great artists steal. So like you try to good ideas and steal them from other people. We could not find anyone in our industry anywhere who's done this. So we're like, all right, we're just going to improv and just create it. Yeah. And fortunately, we just have a lot of good innovators here at the company. We have a lot of good materials where we've been able to pull it off.
It's amazing. I like you said, I love what it's, and we can talk about this a little bit more later, but I love what it's become. Like it's become this resource. It's become this thing that, people are using, in all kinds of different environments. And frankly, I think that's one of the reasons we get so many questions, right?
Yes.
Because they're trying to use it in so many different ways.
Which is great.
And then that just helps us to add to our knowledge base, to really expand who we are and what we do, particularly relative to that asset. But I love, you explained it beautifully.
And as Ryan talked about, this is infinitely scalable, which is the incredible part about it.
You can just keep scaling.
Exactly.
And as a matter of fact, we have a couple of different versions, sort of, right? We have Cora, which is our compliance, basically.
Yeah, so everything in NULAi is compliant.
Right.
Everything. It's all of our materials. Right. So it's never going to give you a non-compliant answer. Right. In fact, we had our legal compliance team look it over, and everything you asked, like write a social post, it was all compliant that part. But we know some people like to uniquely just write down their own testimonial. Yeah. So Luna could review it, but Luna is designed based on the moral algorithm to really help you create materials. So Cora is a complete compliance review. Yeah. We took our compliance legal team, all their knowledge, and when you said sometimes jobs do replace people, that's
Rodney's like, so
our director,
what do you want me to do? Right?
Literally, our director of compliance, when we were testing, he said, "You're going to put me out of a job." I said, I made the joke saying, "No, now you could be more strategic." And actually, Ronnie and I are working over the international compliance, so every single market now has global messaging per their market. But something he couldn't do before this. Now, Cora, if you have a question about, hey, is this post compliant? You ask Cora, drop in your messaging. It says, nope, change this section. It's all for you. Instead of you having to send a message to Rodney, or Rodney send you a message, or our legal team saying, hey, you can't make that claim. You have to be consistent with the laws and regulations. But Cora does that. And we also have Emma and Luna coming out. Yeah. So Emma is when people ask about Luna, it's just for field members, our active members.
And Luna is for our international.
It's international because we know our marketing materials are different. So Luna is obviously designed heavily for the U.S. on our claim system, but we know how our products are registered internationally, and our formulation, we use Luna. So that way, Luna could be for our Taiwan, for example, Korea, Japan. You bet. And it's tailored for their marketing materials. You bet. But those are the two primary business building solutions. You have Cora for compliance and legal, and then you have Emma. Yeah. And Emma is for field support. So that will be open for everybody. So 24/7, you can go on our website, ask it any question you want. And our goal is to get to a point with our testing that you don't even know if you're talking to a real human being or not. That's our objective with Emma, is to make this thing as natural as possible. We've been doing a lot of testing. And I will tell you, I've been using it to respond to certain people. They cannot tell the difference.
That's amazing. That's it's amazing and scary all at the same time. I'm like, wow. But like you said, that's the benefit, right? That's the amazing part of it. That that you really can. And I've noticed that because you were talking to me about this too, and we were talking about the field, Ryan. Like the more they use it, like I said, you can sort of see, like I can see specific, I don't know, personality. Like you can see things coming out that normally, like you said, just draw you closer and closer to it really being more like you.
Well, and the critical part too, we're talking about questions they ask. It is so nice that we now have awareness of all the questions people need to know from NULai. It allows us, the marketing or sales, to do a better job of saying, okay, they're asking these questions. Well, we need to answer them. We'll use Luna, but we should also create a brochure or something of that nature into it. Or people are asking a lot about Stony Tanner. We found that out. Like somehow everyone's like, "Who's Stony Tanner?" And Luna. So I'm like, "Well, now we got to write an entire bio about Stony and his background. He's a Gemini. He likes long walks on the beach.
Walks and,
Who's Ryan? Ryan's a big BYU fan.
Apparently, I'm a journaler. Journaling. Going back to Ryan, and I love the fact that we're talking about this, and I want to talk about a couple other things. But I mean, basically, you've got NULai, you've got 92 languages, right? I can't remember what it was. 92 languages we can use. We know that it's available in our app. Yes. We know it's available in Dash. There's these places where they can access it and use it. And when we start talking about that, right, we talk about how it's applicable to the field and how these guys can come in and the difference that it can make. I mean, given all the time you spent internationally, given all the time you spent here domestically, if you, and this is just a off left field question, but if you were going to tell somebody, hey, this is what you can use NULai for, like what are a couple ways just off the top of your head that you think that someone could really benefit by virtue of using NULai?
Well, I mean, obviously, compliance is the first one, right?
And
this industry is being heavily monitored and watched, but I'll use a quick example that you brought up. So hormones isn't really quite understood in Asia as it is here.
Yeah.
Like hormones is considered a positive thing. There are people that are addressing hormonal issues. But in Asia, they use different words to kind of describe hormones, and that's what this would help us do, is kind of like target the culture and where it's at, and the language, and again making sure that it's compliant, but on top of that, making sure it's contextual too.
I love it. Yeah, so they really can. Like one of the funnest exercises we had, we were using NULai. I was on a part of an Empower Hour or something, and I was on with Paul Capozio, you guys know him. And I said, NULai, can you write me like a quick paragraph about how somebody from New Jersey would invite somebody to be a part of the opportunity or something like that. Yeah. So I'm doing it, and I'm on the call, and so I look at it. It's like, yo, how you doing? Right? It was like this whole thing about. And so I was talking to Paul about it, and I'm like, but it was just amazing. It was like, because you could have it work on compliance. You could have it work on a something you could post as an SMS that you could use, and you can take that body of that, you can make it uniquely yours and post and you could. I saw one of our members that said, I want you to plan posts for the next 10 days for me.
Yes.
I want a 10-day plan where I want something every single day that you can help me create that I can use to really drive traffic. And people started to open up. They started to get, and frankly, from our perspective, and even from a leader perspective, is the value in that is someone's taking action.
Exactly.
All of a sudden, if I'm sitting around going, I don't know what to say, now you do.
Well, and that makes, I mean, even for marketing and sales,
yeah,
we use Luna internally.
Yeah.
All of our posts on social media, all of our emails is all ran through Luna.
Yeah.
It's basically having a copywriter right there who has the entire encyclopedia of NULai in the playbook present in their mind. Like, what an easy tool that is. And the best part is you can proofread, it can help you with your writing style. You can type in just a few things. You can write an email, drop it in there and say, proofread this for me, and maybe make it a little bit more soft, or hey, add a couple value points to it, and it's going to rework the whole thing.
Yeah, remember when I sent you guys I was going to be sick, or my kid was sick?
That was the best email I've gotten.
Which one did I do with you? One of them
was
Blink-182.
Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, it was Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, I got Fleetwood Mac from you.
Said, tell these guys that I'm not going to be in tomorrow, and but do it from a Fleetwood Mac perspective. I did Blink 182. And it was, it took that, like you said, you can use it to be softer, you can use it to be more New Jersey.
You can do anything you want. That's right.
Tonal or straight up your favorite band,
I love it.
And to rhyme whatever post that you put out. But it's
awesome.
It's fun.
I remember sending an email back. I'm like, Ryan, are you okay?
But I would say the more you interact with it, it learns from you too, which is really astonishing. And I would say the best uses, you got compliance, which is one of the biggest values. That now when you ask a question, you can be confident in the response you get. And I'll be honest, if you give me a call, I mentioned to give you a call or Ellie or even Alexi, I'm not even guaranteeing what we say are compliant. I mean, we're going to go off our memory. We're like, all right, well, if they go in depth to their questions, I'm like, okay, let me go check for you.
Yeah, let me find out.
Because, I mean, we have so much information, so much scientific articles, training materials, blueprint training. NULAi does it that quickly. You can just do it at that speed. But you can have all your SMS messages, you can have your social posts in there, your emails. You can say, I want to sell Somaderm to a new prospect. Her name is Amber. She's at this age. I want to join the company. She really cares about her health. She's going to the gym. Craft a message, 4 of them, that reinforce this, and it'll do the whole work for you. And if you don't like it, NULAi doesn't have an ego. Just say
NULAi doesn't care.
That's okay. How about you try again? Or I don't know if I like that. And you can go on and on and on and have that conversation with it.
I love it. That really is what makes it so different and so unique. It's that it draws on that database, that it really is uniquely, for lack of a better term, NULAi, right?
Exactly.
It's us. Like I said that before, and I'll say it again. It was amazing when you showed it to me, because I thought, well, this will be ChatGPT, whatever it is. That's not what this is.
No.
As a matter of fact, it's one of the only ones I know of that exists. Ryan, you and I talk about all the time that there's so many differences between us and other people that are out there that people just simply don't know about us. Whether you talk about U-Wallet or you talk about our products, or I think sometimes people have a hard time distinguishing why we are who we say we are, and why we can be so powerful, and why we can do the things we say we can do. And it's because of things like this, right? It's because these things make us truly unique and make us who we are. And I love that about us. But and I only got you guys for a few more minutes, but really quickly, Ryan, come back to you. What do you think the future of AI looks like? I mean, how do you think it's going to play itself out?
That's a great question. I've seen so many technologies come out, and they take a long time to adopt. Like 3D printing, they thought was going to take over the world.
Yeah, you're right.
Every building would be built by a 3D printer, and a decade and a half later, I think they built a few homes that are 3D printed and stuff like that. But it's still very powerful because there are other elements like parts and constructing parts on site, instead of having to get it sent to China to do certain sample numbers or repair fix. You never know. Like contactless payments were before Apple Pay and everyone had it. It usually takes 2 to tango. It takes the consumer and the merchant or business to adopt it. AI is really or it's physical, like I said, with 3D. There's physical parameters or impediments. AI is it's intangible. And it just gets smarter and smarter and smarter every single year. And so I do think it is going to transform the world in areas that we don't even know yet. We have to catch up to it. But I do think you mentioned something, Shawn. It does seem a little scary at what the future is going to be. If you look at it and say, hey, listen, there's going to be something that's always smarter than me at my job, or just it should just enable you at any point in your life to be more strategic, to be more thoughtful, and to be able to research things that a lot of time we spent 80% just scrolling through the web trying to do a talk, or if you're doing a speech or anything like that. It's like you use it to automate a lot of the grind work, stuff that gets you from point A to point B, and you're unable to actually strategically think. And I actually think because of that, it's taken on more of the mundane stuff. I think the world's going to actually, technology, thought, businesses is going to double because of AI. Because people like you, like Shawn, and others are not spending 80% of their time on all the mundane stuff to get their work done and to function. They're going to be able to think strategically. And it's going to force people to think like that.
Yeah, absolutely love that.
What makes us different with this platform is, not just the technology.
Yeah.
It's the fact that we're giving it out for free.
Yeah. You can get this absolutely free.
Which is, even ChatGPT, if you want to get their premium version, they charge you
Shawn,
for that.
There's no small print that says if you want to get the upgraded version.
Nope.
There's no hidden upgrade versions out there.
Now, if you're a member of NULAi,
I'm not going to get my credit card.
If you're a member of NULAi, you just get it, and I think that has to be for me one of the more insane objectives. And it's really because we control it in house.
Yeah.
There's obviously is some fees to us as a company.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that they are, but they're not that much.
Okay.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
From like the tokens where you pull on the API on the back end, there are a little bit of fee there, but it is so minuscule that we're able to say, okay, let's use that as an investment, give it out for free. I don't know of any company out there.
Either.
I don't know of any company out there that says we have this AI solution here.
Yeah, here
have it.
Yeah.
That's the insane part.
It's crazy.
And it's a long play, as Ryan talked about. The notion is, when you think ROI, return on investment, if we give them these tools, then in theory they will have more time to grow their business. Yeah. Because now they want to be like, all right, I gotta talk to Rodney, I gotta talk to product marketing, I gotta talk to product education.
I gotta write up something.
I gotta write something up. Oh, I missed a typo. I don't know how to do this. I got anxiety. What's the blueprint training? All they gotta say is, how do I sell to somebody? And all of our training materials are uploaded in there as well. And it just gives it to you that quickly on your mobile device, anywhere you're at. Our goal right now is to refine NULAi as much as possible. Yeah. And we've launched it. We really launched it about 6 weeks ago, but we want to make sure that the network is stable, figuring out what people are saying. We've had no issues at all. So obviously we're launching it now globally.
And we're not so proud that we want you to battle test it too.
Exactly. Yes.
And give us some feedback, because
That's the whole point.
AI is not perfect. It isn't.
I'm close.
No. There is nothing in this world that's perfect, and so, and it is a learning machine. Mm-hmm. So that's why they used to call at least the precursor of AI machine learning, because the machines would learn it with algorithms, etc. That's right. And so we welcome it. May get a few things incorrect, and we could readily correct it.
That's
so
the
that
difference.
it doesn't ever repeat itself.
Unlike other AIs where, again, you'd have to get a hold of Google, you had to get a hold of ChatGPT, you had to get a hold of these big companies who do not care about you. If you remember in NULAi and you catch one of those things, just reach out to you or reach out to field support and then say, hey, can you relay this over to the team? And we get it. That's the incredible part of us owning intellectual property, is we control all those pieces. And it's just for our members, which is so cool. And again, like you said, you can find it on the Uconnect app. You can find it on Dash. There's links for it there. And eventually, to your point, in the next year, my goal will be to incorporate NULAi into the Uconnect app. So when you want to write something, it's just going to automatically feed it in there. Yeah. And in Dash as well. So it kind of just acts as our autoresponders. Yep. It'll start giving you reports. It'll start seeing behavior. And it'll just start giving you recommendations. Like, you'll have your own personal sales team giving you analytics with you at every step of the way. That's amazing. But it's really limitless, the potential. And the cool part about it is I really think we're the only company around that's doing this right now.
I think we are too. I think, maybe the biggest part of me is that's probably the thing I'm most proud of. I think I'm most proud of the fact that when we do anything at NULAi, whatever we're building, however we're building it, it really is something that's really very unique to us. I wear that idea like a warm blanket, right? Yeah. I recognize every time I'm out talking to somebody, no matter where I'm at in the world, that if I'm talking about something, it probably really is uniquely NULAi. Mm-hmm. That it's just us. And I think that should be something that we definitely get a chance to share with these guys, even relative to technology, even relative to the way things are changing, markets change. There really is huge advantage to being a part of NULAi.
Absolutely.
Because we are really, and that's a credit to you guys and Alexi and everybody who's a part of our team, really are leading the way in so many of these fields. And so having that, like I said, knowing that we're doing that just leads me to believe what I tell everybody around the world, which is NULAi really is different.
It is, yeah.
It's different. We know who we are. We know what we're about, and when you're a part of us, you're a part of this group. That's who we are. That's what we anticipate everyone's going to do, right? Yeah. Focus on those kind of things.
And to your point, do we have to build an AI?
No.
Could we partner with somebody else and take some shortcuts?
No. No shortcuts.
Not us. No. The whole point is this is something we're building for the long term. If it was only for a month or so, sure, we can just find a quick solution and be like, partner with somebody, here you go. But our goal is to provide an actual solution to a real problem and give you real solutions.
Love it. No, I think we've done that.
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, I wore you out. I think I've had you for too long. But I want to thank you for just spending some time on the pulse here and talking about AI. We're lucky to have both of you at the company. I mean, I hope you guys know that. But I know that you would join me in saying, most importantly, it's about our field. It's about those guys that are out there that are trying to, make this business work for them and use this as a tool to become more productive. 100%. And so I think our advice to them would be just that: use it all the time. Try it out. Give us feedback. Exactly. Make sure it's a part of what you are, and just stay connected to it. And what we can probably anticipate is it'll change, right? It's going to keep changing, become more and more.
It's no different than just one of us.
Yeah, just one of us.
We change, we improve, we learn new things. The best part about this is NULAi will be as great as people in the field use it and want it to be. That's what makes it so darn unique.
That's what makes it so powerful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, guys. I guess we'll tell them goodbye.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for hopping on, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of the NULAi Life Pulse podcast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. Also, for more information, please visit our website, nululife.com. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode of the NULAi Life Pulse podcast.